So as many know, I attended Anime Expo for my 8th year, and it was fun. So let me tell you how Anime Expo 2024 was absolutely amazing, because at least 90 I give this convention at least a 90% of percent positive feedback, because despite some minor things that could be prevented for probably next year, Anime Expo this year truly was, what's the word, almost perfect. And yeah, it was something that I really didn't expect even for myself. So why was Anime Expo this year, why was AX this year different from the last past 2 years? Well, I'm going to tell you the pros and cons of this year, and let me explain why two that's why let me explain why 2022 and 2023 were not so good. I'm gonna say that. No, they weren't so good, because to be honest, as you know, I've been attending Anime Expo for 8 years. 2022, 2023 was a disaster and a mess. As much fun as I had for those two conventions, man, it was crazy. But I do want to tell you why 2024 is probably a good example on how Anime Expo will be run positively in the future, and how if they keep this level of organization, much better entrances and exits, volunteers, staff, security, everything I'm about to tell you about Anime Expo 2024 actually going to be pretty good. So let's start with Anime Expo 2022. So as you know, post-COVID conventions were starting to pop up more. Anime Expo was canceled for 2 years, for 2020, 2021, and we all know because of COVID-19. But 2022 was a little different, because everybody was coming from post COVID, and Anime Expo had this thing called, was basically requiring face masks, and at least those who didn't get the shot for COVID shot, or those who were well, basically had to wear a mask, or it was given a choice. But I do have to say that, as much as I say, it was overcrowded. I mean, it was crowded to the brim, because everybody was coming back from post-COVID. Everybody was cosplaying, and this, big deal. But safety was truly alarming, because as much people, they oversold it, and Anime Expo 2022 really did not do well on the fact that even after COVID-19, it still was not organized well. And this is why 2022 was truly not set in the best way. For Anime Expo 2023, they kind of did the same thing, whereas 2023, they oversold badges. And I mean, a shit ton of badges were oversold. And I know it sounds a little rough, but it was, because I went to 22 and 23, and I have my badges, and to be honest, just crazy. Because as much as I can say, it really was oversold in 2023, and safety was a huge issue, where the fire marshal of Los Angeles County fire marshals were getting upset with the people because of overcrowding and safety issues, and that's pretty much where 2023 was lying. And this is where people were lining up to the brim in 2023, and yeah, last year was not as well organized. There was not many exits, and it just kind of failed on that part. But it was still fun, and I had a good time. But this year was different. I know, different, because if you saw my Instagram videos, I actually saw a lot of positive things about Anime Expo this year that really outshine both 22 and 23. Let me explain. See, this year Anime Expo had a total of 6 entrances and exits total. And there are 7 exits specifically, 7 entrances. So together about both 7, which was good. They recently closed the street where the crypto arena is, and they closed Pico Street, and they basically turned that entire area to a very well venue area of food and a stage, and it was pretty well organized. Despite some of the stuff which I'm going to get to a little bit. But as a whole, Anime Expo 2024 was at least a 90% success rate, because this really just took off for the best, because with 6 different entrances and 7 different exits, 7 different exits and 7 different entrances, to be honest, AX did pretty damn good with the organization, and lines were not as bad like last year, because a lot of times I was in line for about 2 hours. Yeah. This year, less than that. I could probably say an hour and 45 minutes. But here's the thing. Despite that, they allowed people to go inside at 8 o'clock despite the waiting for 9 o'clock for the convention center to open. So to be honest, it was really well organized, and there's a lot that I can say for the best. But as a whole, Anime Expo this year just was impressively good. It was impressively really almost perfect. Now for the cons, I'm going to tell you in a little bit, but for the pros, I'm going to continue. See, LineCon, as we know as Anime Expo, not as bad this year. To be honest, it was about an hour, and lines were flowing pretty damn good. I mean, despite them being a little bit wonky, yeah, I have to admit one thing. Anime Expo this year had a lot of organization on the lines, on the entrances, and how scanning badges was actually obviously a lot easier this year, and it just was better. It was a lot better. Security was more, what's the word, tight, and they were doing their job pretty good. So honestly, it really did not surprise me that Anime Expo this year had a lot more pros, and that's pretty much the thing that I have to say. You see, this year AX just did a lot of good things, and from the lines to being 1, the lines being less, 2, opening the convention center a little early, and 3, having security be better, and 4, it was run smoothly. So that's pretty much I've got to say. So for the cons, it's going to be a little bit just some minor stuff. So, and here's one more thing for the pros that I really, for the one more pro for Anime Expo this year. Volunteers. Like, they had a shit ton of volunteers this year that really helped maintain organization of the convention, and going down the hall from getting one area from the entertainment center to the south hall, there was a one way going south and one way going north. So you had quite a bit of that organization right there. And in the entertainment hall, same thing. There's a lot of volunteers there, a lot of security that kept it going and flowing pretty well. And pretty much that was really good. That was spot on. So volunteers really made it better, and that's pretty much my last pro. So for the cons of Anime Expo 2024 is just pretty much a little minuscule things that could probably be tweaked for next year to be better. So one of the things I had a problem with was getting autograph tickets to meet voice actors. See, yeah, at Anime Expo, there is a line you have to get a ticket to get an autograph to meet the voice actor you want, and a lot of times this flows really well. But for this year, I was in line for about an hour and a half, and this was kind of negative. I really did not like. But as much as I can say, this was just one of the cons that really was negative. Because standing in line in the hot sun for about an hour and a half to get Lauren Landa's autograph ticket and Lizzie Freeman's autograph ticket, yeah, that was a little bit ridiculous, but this cat could be tweaked, so maybe they can fix it better. And to be honest, the second thing I had was pretty much. Well, this wasn't really a con. It was more of a. They just need to be better at the schedule and post more stuff differently. And the app this year was good, and it helped a lot on my schedule, my best friend's schedule, and my my sister's schedule, that the three of us could do stuff, see panels and all that. So this, I wouldn't say called a con, just scheduling was a little different, but yeah, I can say that more pros happened at Anime Expo this year. And to be honest, I really was impressed. So AX 2024 was a lot better than the past 22 and 23. Was better this year than 2022 and 23 for the convention wise. LionCon was there, but not as bad. But as much as I could say, Anime Expo this year was run pretty smoothly, with the volunteers, security, layout on the map, and just a lot of organization that really was superb. I give Anime Expo a 90% success rate, and that's pretty damn good for a convention that usually has over 100,000 people. And this year, AX did well on the organization of the convention hall, and just really did well as a whole. And there was a lot of room. They spaced it out completely. They did a JW Marriott Center, the JW Marriott Hotel had some events. The entertainment hall had some events. The Katani Hall was great. The South Hall was really loaded with a lot of people, but worth it. And the free stuff was amazing. Yeah. But as far as I can say, Anime Expo 2024 was good. It was fun, and I do hope AX continues on making this convention well more organized, and a lot more has a lot more volunteers and security, and has is mapped out perfectly like this year. So honestly, AX 2024 was a good thumbs up, and that's not a lot to say for a convention that has over 100,000 people. But this year, yeah, it was good. It was maintained really well. So shout out to Anime Expo for that. So if they can just fix some minor adjustments this year, other than that, it was pretty damn good. But I'm looking forward to Anime Expo 2024. I have a new surprise cosplay I'm working on. So, anyways, Anime Expo 2024 was good. Looking forward to next year. I'm really excited. So, more videos will be posted on YouTube from my Instagram, so you can check that out. Anyways, I'll see y'all later. Peace out.